What's going on, everyone? Austin John Plays here, and today I'm going to be going over your crafting guide for Pokemon Legends Arceus. The number one reason I'm making this video is because there's a lot of crafting recipes in the game, and I've made sort of a complicated Excel chart and extrapolated some information from there for what things you should just always craft, what things you should never craft, and what things you kind of have some options for. Firstly, in case you didn't know, right here is going to be the crafting guide. He's located right here on the map in Jubilife Village. He's the only one who's going to be selling you crafting recipes. And some of them you're gonna need, some of them you're never gonna need. However, as you're playing through the game, being able to buy crafting recipes here typically happens before the items are available to be sold at the general store, so you kind of have an advantage-disadvantage system that way. I'm pretty sure either right before or right after you help quell the Frenzy Noble Avalugg, you're going to have access to pretty much all of the recipes in the game. In addition, there's a couple of gift recipes that exist in the overworld and a couple of reward recipes in the overworld. For example, the choice dumplings are given to you by a guy in the Coronet Highlands. He's all the way on the east side by the actual waterfront. The swap snack is a request reward for the mission called Serving Up Swap Snacks, things like that. So if you're doing all the side missions and if you're exploring, you're gonna be fine. And one more little quick pro tip before we get into anything, because apparently a lot of people don't know this. If I were to have some potions, Pokeballs, and berries in my inventory, and if I hit the sort button by hitting minus, that's going to organize my satchel and put them in a predetermined order. I believe it's recovery items, and then Pokeballs, then experience candies and evolution items, and at the very bottom is berries. However, the more items in your satchel, the more difficult it could be to get around. And the game has a favoriting feature, so if I were to go here, and I personally like to keep my Pokeballs at the top, so I like to favorite those, and then if I hit the sort button, it's going to be put at the top. Now, if I put a recovery item as favorited, it's going to appear before the Pokeballs. So basically what happens is there's a predetermined order, and that's applied to non-favorited items, and the same predetermined order is applied to favorited items. So it's your option on how you want that to go. Me personally, I favorite all of the Pokeballs in the entire game, whether I choose to actually have them in my inventory or not. The sticky globs and the smoke bombs, and then, natural order of things, all the recovery items are there. If I'm going to be using berries, I'm not worried because I know that while I'm going through my item carousel, the top of it is Pokeballs and the very bottom of it is random stunning items, but then all the berries are there. So I know that if I go right, I'm going to be going between all my balls, and then I get to my stunning items and my smoke bombs. If I go left from the Pokeballs, I'm going to be going into the berries. You probably don't want to carry more than 4 Pokeballs on you. I typically do 3. I typically always go out with only Ultra Balls, Jet Balls, and then sometimes Feather Balls, just for, you know, Pokemon that are easy to catch, they're far away, I don't really want to be bothered, I just want to throw that and move on. They're slightly more expensive than Pokeballs, however, the utility is definitely worth the extra, maybe 20 bucks. Also, in case you didn't know, you cannot buy Jet Balls and Gigaton Balls. That's the tier 3 of the heavy and the light balls. Instead, you always have to craft them. However, you can just freely buy Ultra Balls. So all of your iron and all of your apricorn should always go into crafting your Gigatons and your Jets. You should never ever craft Ultra Balls. And that's kind of going to be the theme of how this video is going to go. I'm going to go over the most important stuff and the least important stuff. As I mentioned, I made sort of a large chart going over every single crafting recipe in the game and what they include. The only thing not included here is, I don't even know how to say it, the old glacho, whatever that thing is, it's not, you're not going to use it, you're not going to make it. However, showing you an Excel chart is actually not good for viewer retention, so instead I'm just going to explain everything to you. In my opinion, outside of Pokeballs, which require no materials from anything else and nothing else requires the same materials as Pokeballs, so they're kind of in their own separate category, the 3 most important items that you're going to be crafting are going to include smoke bombs, sticky globs, and stealth spray. If you're not using these 3 items, you should be. Sticky globs are basically like an upgraded version of all the stunning items like spoiled apricorns, snowballs, balls of mud, things like that. Smoke bombs make it so you can make cover wherever you want, and stealth sprays are going to make it so your footsteps are quieter, you can walk next to Pokemon, you're going to aggro Pokemon less. It's less effective on the alphas, but for the majority of Pokemon, it's going to make catching them significantly easier. Now, I'll be blunt with you, you could buy all these items. These 3 items right here. The smoke bombs, the sticky globs, and the stealth sprays. The sticky globs cost 800 each. They required 1 spoiled apricorn, 1 ball of mud, 1 caster fern. However, between the crafting guy and the Ginkgo Guild guy, you're actually not able to buy spoiled apricorns or balls of mud, so you have to go farm them. You could buy caster ferns right here for 140 bucks. So all in all, you should create any sticky globs that you can from, you know, the items that you actually have in your storage and your inventory. But if you can't craft any, then don't worry about it. You can go farm some materials or just go buy the item. That kind of goes for all 3 of those items that I'm talking about, the stealth spray, the sticky glob, and the smoke bombs. I have 183 just because that's how many materials I had that I could craft with. The smoke bombs, I keep like 30 to 40 on me. Again, if I have the materials, I craft it. If not, I buy them, so I have at least 30 when I go out. And the stealth spray, same thing. I think I got a whole bunch of these items when I was doing my search for Alpha Electrode. So there's sort of a route that you can go and farm some pretty good items. I might show that at the end of the video here. All of the recovery items in the game that restore health and cure statuses or ailments, you can just buy them. In addition, I never ever use them. I maybe used 10, 20 potions throughout my entire playthrough, but once you get weirder, the ability to just fast travel back to camp, do a quick sleep, go back, you're good to go. Plus, I typically have everyone over leveled for an area because in case I get jumped by 4 Pokemon in a situation that, you know, there's a shiny or an alpha or something that I really want, I'm gonna take care of everything around me and then do the work that I need to do. You're going to need potions to craft super potions to craft hyper potions. Max potions don't require any of those items. Full restores require max potions. But again, you could buy full restores. Let's talk about full heals. Full heals require 4 berries that are not used in any other recipes. So if you have these berries, make the full heals, sell off the full heals. Because in this game, status ailments are a joke. If you're fighting an alpha Pokemon, you could literally just hit the run button, and as long as it's not going to despawn or run away immediately, you could just then immediately re-encounter it. It's still going to have the same health, and your status ailment is going to be cured. So there's no point in using any status recovery items, or they just go away, you know? So as you see, I have 25 revives in my storage. I never use them. I have 23 max potions, and I have 32 hyper potions. In my mind, as long as I have 30 hyper potions and max potions, then anything that requires those, I'm gonna make them. Now, you might be tempted to make remedies, because, you know, they only take bugworts. However, since the stealth spray also takes bugworts, I'm never gonna be crafting remedies. Know what I mean? The only recovery items that you cannot purchase are going to be the ones that help you restore your power points or PP, being the max ether and max elixir. If PP is that much of a problem, travel to camp more. That's it. Or stop using moves that have 5 PP. Instead, swap it for one that has 10 PP and slightly less powerful, but it also takes less time, so you might be able to get 2 moves off at the same time. Moves with 5 PP in this game, I've never used them. In fact, my Umbreon still has Snarl, Psychic, Baby Doll Eyes, and Calm Mind. I just beat the game with that Umbreon, just with those moves. Like me versus the last Pokemon in the game, I won. With just Umbreon, with one of its starting moves. Know what I mean? So, overpowered moves aren't that powerful in this game. Now, if we were to look at all of the battle enhancing items, like the Ox Power and the Ox Guard, these require pep-up plants. The pep-up plants are also used by max ethers, which we're not making, and super potions, which are needed for hyper potions, but once you have 30, you're not using iron bark tongues for anything else in the game. Craft them, sell them off. That also goes for the sword caps being used for the Ox Power. However, when it comes to the Power Guard, it requires King's Leaves, and many of the high tier items in the game require a King's Leaves, so you may not want to craft those. When it comes time for the Ox Evasion and the Dire Hit, they require Dire Shrooms and Doppelbonnets. and candy truffles. So it's just different combinations of mushrooms. And these items aren't used by any other crafting thing that I'm gonna recommend in the game. So if you have these items, if you picked up these mushrooms from the ground, just craft them, sell them off. Oh, star pieces, by the way, anytime that you can make them from picking up shards and stardust and the space-time distortions, make them. That also goes for the Pikachu doll. It only requires wood. You don't need wood for anything in the game except for 3 wood for the pixie plate, and you're gonna be prompted for that. So you're gonna be fine. Even though right now I can make a scatterbang because I have a whole bunch of pop pods, it also requires caster ferns, and I don't like using scatterbangs. And the pop pods we're not using for anything else. I mean, I might as well craft them and then sell them, right? I am gonna be turning a profit if I do so. So anytime I pick up a pop pod, I'm probably gonna make it into a scatterbang, buying a caster fern, and I'm gonna be turning a profit on that. So there we go. I know this entire time it seems like I'm just kind of rambling and spitting facts at you, so let's break it down in a very simple way. These 8 items right here are 8 items you should always craft. And you know what? I'm gonna recommend that you go and you favorite all of them. That way, after you craft these items, you see them at the top of your inventory when you're on the buy and sell screen, sell them. In addition, when you put them in your inventory, you're gonna see them at the top and you're like, oh great, I could sell these now, perfect. That includes the stealth spray, sticky glob, and smoke bomb. I'm gonna recommend never selling these items. Use these for catching Pokemon. And then the items that you do wanna sell, the full heals, cause again, you know, status conditions are a joke in this game. The Pokemon doll, the star pieces, the Ox evasion, and the dire hit. If you ever have the materials for these 5 items, craft them and then immediately sell them. Next up includes the hyper potion, max potion, and revive. I say make sure you have at least 20 or 30 of them. At one point in the game, you're going to realize that hyper potions are not going to help you at all for your Pokemon, so then you're going to switch to max potions. But max potions require some supplies used by other things, so if you're in battle, max potions. If you're not in battle, hyper potions. Next, after you have a good supply of revives and your potions of choice, and then also, you know, if you want to make full restores or max revives, that's up to you. I don't think it's really necessary in this game, but it's your game and play it how you want. After you have a good enough supply of these, if you're ever able to make the other 3 battle items, the Ox Power, Guard, and Power Guard, definitely make them. In addition, the Twice Spice Radish, it requires a King's Leaf. However, the other items it requires, you're not going to be using them that much. So again, you're going to make all 8 of these items up front. Then you're going to cap yourself with these items. Then you can make these freely. When it comes to the 5 variety of cakes in the game, I mean, like, make them if you need, but they require the cake base, and I think you just have to buy them. Like, there's no place that you can farm them or make them or anything, so the farming route that I'm going to be going over at the end of the video, you're going to be getting a bunch of these, and you really shouldn't worry. That leaves us with the 10 items I think you should never ever make in the game. The 10 items. Actually, there's 11. I think I'm missing one. It's just one of the remedies. You should never ever make remedies, superb remedies, Jubilife muffins, ethers, elixirs. I never make full restores or max revives because at the end of the game, you can just buy them, you know, the times that you would actually need them. Choice dumplings, swap snacks, and scatterbangs. I've never gotten scatterbangs to work. I thought it would cause a Pokemon to run away and then despawn instead of just kind of moves a little bit and then it sees me. I mean, I'm gonna buy some if I need 100% a Pokedex page or complete a Pokedex page, but like, you're never ever gonna use them. But the reason you never want to make these 10 items is because they are going to directly be taking away materials from your most important items at the beginning. Make these all the time, use them all the time. For these ones, make them all the time, sell them off. These, make sure you have a good supply. After you have a good supply, you can make these. Never ever make these. I don't know if it's possible to explain it any better than that. That's gonna be your crafting guide. Are there any recipes that I'm missing? Oh, the old glasso, whatever it is, don't make that either. It's not good. Future Austin, if you could do me a favor and, I don't know, in Photoshop, take all those screenshots that I made and make it so it's just one nice horizontal thing that people are going to screenshot and then share on Reddit and their favorite Discord pages, definitely go for that. When it comes to your grit dust, after you have 6 Pokemon that you absolutely love and they're fully maxed out, go convert your grit dust into grit gravel, your gravel to pebbles, your pebbles to rocks, sell off the rocks. You're not going to need them anymore, easy money. For Porygon, you need to evolve 3. For Porygon 2, you need to have a total of 5 and evolve 3. Porygon Z, you need to have a total of 5. Now, you can catch Porygon Z, but he spawns so rarely. So in my mind, take 5 Porygon, evolve them to Porygon 2, evolve those 5 Porygon 2 into Porygon Z, and then any other upgrades or dubious discs that you get in your entire life, sell them. You're never gonna need them. For your variety of nature mints, anything that's going to be, negative defense or negative speed, sell it off. You're never gonna want negative speed in this game. There is no trick room. There's no advantage to having a slower Pokemon. There is no competitive battling. You never want your defense to be down. So really just get rid of them. You're pretty much just gonna use like Adamant and Jolly Mints and the one that increases the special attack instead of attack. Don't stockpile your mints for no reason. Seeds of Mastery are really only helpful for the move learner. After that, it's not really helpful. So I already have my 6 Pokemon that I want with the desired moves. I'm gonna keep like 10 in my inventory, but anytime I get more than 10, I'm gonna sell them off. And then you may just have some extra materials lying around. I recommend not selling them, stockpiling them. Granted, if one of them gets to 100, yeah, sell 50 of them off. Anything other than that, you never know when you're gonna need it. You know what I mean? We don't know if there's DLC coming for this game. We don't know if we're gonna be continuing on in our journey. We don't know if there's gonna be updates, new recipes. So for now, just hang on to them, stockpile them. Now I want to share with you my favorite route for farming up a whole bunch of materials that you're going to be using regularly. Here in the Coronet Highlands, I am at the Summit Camp. However, you could totally be here without the Summit Camp as long as you help quell the Frenzy Noble Electrode. So as soon as you get access to that, you can do this. I'm going to take everything out of my inventory. I'm going to set a little timer for 15 minutes. So that's the lap that I do from the Summit Camp. I go down the Sacred Plaza and there's 3 chests there. Sometimes they're sparkling and you get bonus items, and sometimes they're not sparkling. And then I come to the Primeval Grotto. I try to land on one of the ruins so I don't take fall damage. I head north a little bit. There's 1 on the way on the left. There's 2 up there. I turn around next to the nose pass. There's 1. There's 1 along the way. There's a shaking tree sometimes. And then there's a ruined circular thing where there's a box. I head across the way next to Pseudo Wudo. There's another box. I run straight across past the Graveler. There's another box there. Sometimes there's a piece of wood on the way, and then I land it all off with 1 last chest. I may have said chest and box incorrectly because I don't know which is which. I just go through there. It takes about 1:40 to do a lap, and in 10 minutes and 30 seconds, I was able to achieve 4 stealth sprays, 36 Pokeballs, I'm gonna sell those, 17 Ultra Balls, fantastic, 21 Sticky Globs, 38 Smoke Bombs. Nice. Sky Tumblestones, 1 piece of iron. I think I hit a Sky Tumblestone on one of the laps. A Medicinal Leek, 4 Pep-Up Plants. I grabbed a piece of wood. Sometimes they're glowing and you get a nugget out of there. 26 Great Balls, sell those. 14, 15, 16, 11 cakes, and 40 scatterbangs. So in addition to me getting a bunch of items that I need, a bunch of the cakes that are fantastic for catching more powerful Pokemon, I also made $17,000. I got 4 stealth sprays, 17 Ultra Balls, 21 Sticky Globs, 38 Smoke Bombs. In addition to all the cakes. Like, it's fantastic. This is a great run. 10 minutes is all that it took for me to get all of these items. And of course, these things, you're just gonna throw them back into your inventory, use them for later for crafting. The Pep-Up Plants, you can never get enough of those. Well, yeah, that's the stuff you should always craft, the stuff you should sometimes craft, the sometimes you should craft after you've crafted those things, the things you should never craft, a great way to get materials. I don't know what more else there is to talk about for the crafting system. That's every single thing you could possibly craft in the game. Oh, I also went over stuff that you should sell in your inventory. Great. Well, guys, hope you found this crafting video helpful. If you did, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button down below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications. Until next time, Austin John out.